And speaking of local business, it's time for our local business review. And every week we've got Barry from the SBDC that joins us, Wendy Hendricks from the real estate. What's your real estate company?
Agency North.
Agency North. Agency North. I know her as Wendy Hendricks. She's just my girlfriend from Princeton, you know. So, but we have a special guest today. Barry, you've known Kevin for a long time. I'm thinking he knows your shoe size. Kevin Durken's here from the BootShack.
Hey.
Thank you for being here.
He may not know my name, but he knows my shoe size. So publicly, I'm not known to him as Barry.
He's our very good friend, Mr. 10B.
I love that. When he's like, I know so-and-so, 13B. I'm like, oh my gosh, he knows everyone's shoe size. Boot size, right?
Both. That's how I remember people by shoe size.
I suppose, right? It makes sense in your line of work. Thank you for being here today, by the way.
Thank you for inviting me.
This has been a really fun show with Barry and Wendy because our whole focus was, you know, you're someone who's been in business for a long time and you go through ups and downs in business when you own your own local business, right? And we've talked about the COVID aspect and what it takes to actually be that positive person that says, you know what, I find solutions to my issues. I don't just quit. And that's obviously you've never quit.
It's like we tell people, we just opened August 1st, 1980.
There you go. 1980. It's been that long. Has it been 1980? Is that what it was?
It doesn't seem like it, but... you know, when we hit that 40-year mark, I'm like, wow, that's kind of a, you know, when you're going through your 30s, it's like, okay, 30s, but gee, to hit that 40, it's like 40 years. It's like,
how is that even possible?
No kidding.
No, Kevin, I would love to know, how did you decide to even go into this business, first of all, and then decide to open the BootShack?
Oh, that's, you know, we started, I knew Jim back 1980. He wanted to start a boot store. So there's a picture down on the wall at the shack of the original boot shack, and it's the night watchman's guard shack at the Grand State Livestock Barn. That was 14 by 18, and that was outside dimensions. So, so Jim wanted to start a boot store, and he thought I could sell something. So he employed me. We started together, and that was 14 by 18, and that was. I remember, and that was August 1st. That was just a couple of days ago, and I remember him saying that first day, well, we're just going to have a soft opening, which probably meant that we weren't going to do a lot of advertising, right? And that's how we started, and went to different businesses, workplaces, and put up a sign, the Working Man's Boot Store, 10% off, and that's when work boots were $39.95 a pair.
Yeah, so different days.
So we get all these guys who come down from all these different companies around town, and they come down for their 10% off. Just think $3.95 off on a pair of work boots.
Yeah.
And that's how we started. Well, then that was the fall that the Outpost started down the road. It was a cowboy bar. And Jim we had boots down on the wall down there, and it was a lot of fun. I sold a lot of boots through there. But so Jim wanted to get into the Outpost. Then that's how he said, why don't you buy this? So my dad came up from Litchfield, and I'm sure you'd be so impressed. I had a sheet of paper, and I scratched a bunch of numbers on it, and we wanted to borrow $22,000. And if you remember, that's when interest rates are 18-20%.
Oh, yeah. Big time. And so you did?
So we went down to the big bank and said, okay, here we showed the banker guy, okay, you know, 21-year-old kid, we wanted to borrow $22,000 when interest rates are 18-20%. And he looks at that, and he looks at my dad, and he says, and you're going to support him for this? And my dad's like, well, you got to support the boy somehow. And so the banker guy says, well, I think we're really not interested. So I'm like, now what are we going to do?
No, right?
So we went back to Litchfield and went to the PCA, the farm bank, and put the cows up against the,
wow.
And that's how we got to $22,000. And we were supposed to pay back $500 a month back then with 18-20% interest rates and selling $39 work boots and $69 cowboy boots. And, you know, you should have been there that first year, sitting there that first winter, and you sit there and you listen to the little space heater run all day, and nobody would come in. It's like, and then they closed the road. If you remember, that was a 2-lane road. That was
trying to remember.
Old Highway 152.
Okay.
And they closed that for 3 years in a row and turned it into a 4-lane. So.
You just had the luck of the draw, right? This is like testing you. Are you going to make it or are you not? Yeah. Were you questioning yourself in those early years?
Well,
or were you like, nope, I'm going to make it happen. It's going to do it.
Well, yeah. It's like, what else am I going to do? You know.
You got your life in here now, right?
Barry wasn't around at the time
Well,
to
no kidding.
go through your numbers.
So was there a turning point that you went, oh my gosh, this is the luck of the draw?
Well, okay, so that we were in the little shack there for 3 years, and Stevie, our good friends, you know, bless his soul, Stevie Campa, said, okay, he goes, I need the shack back. We wanted to tear it down or whatever. So we moved behind the Corral Bar, which now it's called Shooters, and built the palace, the shack in there, you know. But then we thought we were in a palace. I mean, we had we had a cement floor underneath us.
Right.
The 5th year in business, I had a sales rep, a buddy of mine, bring 3 different Brannick devices in, which I've got right here. This is what we use.
Okay.
And he said, here, Kevin, he goes, I got these from a liquidation place. Store went out of business. I paid $12 a piece for them. And he goes, you can afford that, because he knew I was kind of, you know, frugal. You become that way, you know.
I bet. Yeah.
And we started measuring feet, and that's what made all the difference. And that 5th year of business, we ended up actually making double payments on our loan and paid our loan off the last month of the 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And he has the device here, and I know I hear you talk about that often, but, you know, isn't that something that this works, some of these new technologies and things, but tell us a little bit about that, because I hear you talk about that
It's
a
the
lot.
Brannick device. It's the silver, like we tell people, it's the silver thing you see, the shoe measuring.
Yeah.
Silver thing you see in shoe stores that nobody knows how to use anymore, and they don't get trained.
And what is it called?
It's called a Brannick device.
A Brannick device. I never knew that till today, and I'm 55 years old.
And
Isn't that sad?
And a lot of places don't even use it, right?
Well, no, because the companies aren't going to train their people to use this properly. When Barry walks in and they measure his feet and go, well, you're a 10B, but we don't have any, so here, put this 9 on. Barry, what size you used to wear before you came to the shack?
8.5 D.
Is that right?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
And how'd they fit?
I didn't have anything compared to until I went out and saw Kevin, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He said, you need to come out. You need to come out. He had a Brannick device. And I'd been measured years ago when I was a kid with a Brannick device.
Yeah.
And I bought a pair of Carolina work boots. I wanted a nice brown pair of Carolina work boots to wear for, weekends and whatever. I had black boots, but I turned those in.
Yeah.
And I put those on, and I couldn't believe the difference.
Yeah.
And you hear it again and again and again.
So you want a lifetime customer, what you're saying.
It's when you take the time to fit people and you put them in something that fits properly, and they stand up. You fit them the first time, and they stand up, and their back is straight, and they have a smile on their face.
Yeah.
We call it the first-timer smile. Okay?
Right?
Because you put something on for the first time that actually fits. And, well, Barry, what did you notice when you put those on that fit your arches better?
My lower back felt a little bit more relaxed. It was kind of like, gee, this is kind of like being in the recliner room. I'm standing here in this BootShack.
I guess I'm going to have to go talk to Kevin, because my back's always having a heyday.
And also, one thing people don't realize, when you hear BootShack, you also have like tennis shoes and New Balance, and what other brands do you carry?
It's taken many years to build all the inventory we have. But, yeah, I mean, we started out with Western boots, and we have those now in men's and ladies, like we tell people, in every half and full size to 18s to AAAs. And those are the only sizes and widths in the country. And the work boots, like Barry talks about, we have those made up specially, up to 18 and Ds and Bs.
Wow.
And New Balance makes widths, okay?
Okay.
And that's what they're known for, but nobody carries them. So since we started doing this foot measuring stuff, it's like, well, gee, if you're going to wear a pair of tennis shoes, you should get one that fits right. So we have New Balance's best walking and running shoes in men's and ladies to 18Bs.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually get fitted and, have the support
Kevin, I think an interesting point, I don't know, being sensitive time, though, tell us about your market area, because you just don't sell to Central Minnesota. Tell the listeners how far you go out with people coming to see you.
And some of your celebrity stories.
I love the celebrity stories.
If you Google narrow width cowboy boots or narrow width work boots or narrow width anything, guess who comes up on the top? Okay.
Dwight Yoakam. You.
And, really. and that guy doesn't have any hair, does he?
I don't think so. I think he wears a hat well. Otherwise, if you had hair, he wouldn't be able to fit so well.
When you mentioned Dwight, one of our very good friends. Oh, anyway, so the BootShack. When we talk about nobody measures feet anymore, we don't mean St. Cloud or Minnesota. I mean, that's how it is. Years ago, we met our good buddy, you listen to country, old enough to know better, still too young to care, Mr. Wade Hayes.
Oh, yeah.
Met him at a concert, gave him a card. He calls us up a year and a half later. He goes, Kevin, this is Wade Hayes. I grew up in Oklahoma. I live in Nashville. And there's nothing down here but overpriced cheap boots for the tourists. So that's where he got his first pair of 12Bs. And then we knew that wasn't his size because we sent him other boots and said, next time you come through here, you got to get fit. So next time he came through, we traded him his 12Bs that only got worn at the Grand Ole Opry to a 13 AA. So we have those boots behind the counter with his signature on them. So now all his 13 FAAs and 13 AAs all come to BootShack.
I love that.
And
I love that. That's a great story.
I know.
And that's how it is. And that's just whether you're a national country music singer or anybody. So like Barry said, now people call us every day, and you feel bad because we're busy. And you don't have a chance to spend the time with these people someday. But yeah, people call us every day from all over the country, and not so much even for Western boots, but even for work boots or just shoes or, whatever.
When you work, you want a good pair of shoes. You're on your feet all day, and people find the place where they can get them. They're going to keep coming back, is my guess, because you don't want to be miserable all the time. Once you discover you don't have to be, right?
No.
People don't know that.
It's the purchasing experience, too. I think you treat everybody like they're a celebrity, because to go in and buy a pair of boots or shoes, it's not a one and done. You grab them off the rack and run up and do a self-checkout. Here, we talk, they talk, so you're measured, it talks and has you try on different pairs, really does the analysis and the service. And you have the inventory to back that up.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, Barry. Barry would pull his hair out if you saw now what his last 2 years. You order whatever you can. So,
yeah,
we always used to tell people we have over 5,000 pair, and it took 6 weeks to do inventory this spring. And I hate to say now we have over 7,000 pair, and it's so much fun carrying inventory now. But I wished we would have met this guy years earlier, because it's like when you sit here and like when we went through his Profit Mastery course, and all the different times that we've sat in his office and talked about different things and different issues, I tell any small business out there that if you have any questions or you just want to find anything out, this guy is just a wealth of information.
It can really help you out. It would have been nice to have him, right? When you went to the bank and asked for 22,000, 18% interest rate.
He would have probably been saying the same thing. Like, what do you got to be kidding?
Another thing I want to say about Kevin, I see the time goes so fast always, is, of course, I'm all about community, but he is such a community supporter. I've seen you at events for over the years, every fundraiser, every event. He's such a supporter of the community, and I think that's so key to your ongoing success as well.
It's a give and take thing, right, in the community.
Well, I have to tell you, part of that success, behind Kevin's success, is his wife, Deb, who keeps him grounded.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So why does Shack been there 40-some years, okay? It's because Kevin's out here on the floor talking and selling
boots and shoes.
Yes. The real boss is the one who sits behind the desk, okay? Because you think, with this personality, you think I would be the one on the computer doing book work or doing, man.
You're like, not me. Well, what would you do without her? She's doing all that for you.
Yeah, and we have Gabe. It's just a wonderful guy. Okay, he's been with us how many years now? It's like there's only 3 of us there.
Wow,
and it's
isn't that amazing?
So you're you learn
to be efficient.
Yes, you learn. Barry would be proud of that. You learn to be pretty efficient.
So now, what are you going to do for your 40th year anniversary? Right, this is exciting. Reflect.
Barry
right?
Barry Gabe the other day said, he goes, "What's it like?" It's August 1st. I'm like, gee, you know what? The hallway's full of boots. You can't walk in the warehouse because it's packed full. There's stuff to order. It's like, gee, I hadn't given it any thought.
Right. You're still doing what you do after all this time, right? Did we've only got like 4 minutes left, but did you find it to be a new experience when you went through COVID, or was it better for you? Did you have more of a turnout? Did more people stop?
Obviously, if we would have listened to the I hate to say it, the emperor, then we would have been closed and sitting at home. It's like, well, so you know, I think we kind of told people we were closed. We had it on our website, but you know, Deb and I did inventory the first week, and then we ended up painting, washing all the shelves, top and bottom, and painting the place.
Yeah.
Second week, and it's like, boy, by the third week, it's like, okay. And then we had people show up, phone calls, and it's like, so then we were back open, two
Yeah.
people at a time, and people would
There
stand
you go.
outside. So yes, it's like what we have. It's a necessity. You
Yeah,
know, with all their work
absolutely.
boots and our tennis shoes. You wouldn't believe the people that work in tennis shoes, and they come down to the shack because they can find out they get New Balance, the best walking and running shoes they make, and they actually get fit right. And
Well, I'm
yes,
going to be sending some children your way, some
Yes.
adult children that stand on their feet all day looking for good work shoes. I'm going to send them to you.
when you work with families, aches and pains start out with young guys as early as age 10. And
Yeah.
people spend a fortune running teenage kids to the doctor's office because of ankles and knees and hips and back. And it's all because of their shoes. It's like the guy said not too long ago in the shack that we've heard over the years. It gives you a whole different outlook on life.
Yeah. Wow. So I've got a question. We only got 2 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says, you know what, I haven't been there, I need to go there, or, oh, yeah, I've got to come back, what's the best way to get a hold of you? You want them to just come in and meet you?
Yeah, just show up.
Best thing, just show up. What are your hours?
10 to 7 during the week,
10 to
Friday,
7.
Friday till 8, Saturday till 5. You mentioned the fundraiser, you know, tomorrow night's Thursday. Well, I think we're out of there an hour early to go to the Boys and Girls Club.
Ah,
So,
and that's where is that going to be?
Civic Center.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that is so key to his success because people know you, you know, and that's what our community is about. So, but you also give back and support these nonprofits and events that are so important to our community. So,
Well, this was so fun hearing your story today. It's
Kelly,
very inspiring.
we have to go get our shoe size so he knows.
I know. So when he comes back next time, he said, I met Kelly Cords, whatever my shoe size is.
We
I don't even
should.
believe what my shoe size is, then I'm not even sure.
I know.
I think I'm like a 9.5. It might be a 10.
Oh.
Might be a 10B.
We think you're a 10 in our book.
All right. You just won a client for life right there, Kevin.
He's a smoozer.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank
so
you for
nice
inviting-
having you here today. And happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Barry, Wendy, thank you for bringing him in too. My partners in our local business review always bringing us some great
Thank
guests.
you. It's always a pleasure to be with you on the show and
Yeah.
talking business.
We want to inspire people. And if you're one of those people who wants to do business and you've been holding back, hopefully this has given you some inspiration too to get your business going.